All right, you guys. So recently I have been making videos for you all about these little bird's nest Tinder bundles. This one's really cute. I'll probably keep it. But anyway, and so I just wanted to show you what they can do. And so that's what this video is about. All right, you guys, I need to start this video off by covering my butt and possibly covering YouTube's butt. Don't mess with fire unless you know what you're doing. Don't mess with fire unless you are an adult and or a supervised child being supervised by an adult that knows what they are doing. That being said, this isn't a thing for everybody to do. This is just basically for people who need to or want to learn how to start fires the old-fashioned way. I don't claim to be a good expert at it. I don't claim to be able to do all of this stuff like the guys do on the, alone TV shows and all that kind of stuff. But I am pretty good at starting a wood stove fire. And those of you who own a wood stove, especially an older one, y'all know how even with dry paper and all of the stuff set up right, how difficult it really is to start a fire, even with matches or a lighter or a torch or whatever in a wood stove at times, because sometimes the weather is cold enough to where it makes it so that there's not enough of an updraft to actually catch the fire. So it takes it a few minutes to warm up. So in other words, it takes like a few attempts to get it going. And yes, I know there's people out there that say do an upside down fire or do a fire towards the back where the chimney is and all that yada yada stuff. That's not always applicable in certain wood stoves, especially ours. The way it's set up, you can't just put a fire in the back and have it expected to go up the chimney, because there's actually a metal shield right there that's in front of the chimney inside of the stove, and it could actually move back and forth. And if it moves into the wrong spot, all the smoke comes into your house. But if it's in the right area where it's supposed to be, it kind of sort of blocks the chimney a little bit. I think this is just to kind of keep the fire in the stove so it can't cause a flue fire. I think that's what that's for. However, it doesn't lend itself to helping you start a fire. So, you just got to look at your particular wood stove and see how, it likes to light. But you're going to see in this video, like, how difficult it is to do what I do. And also the tinder bundle that I used wasn't quite dry. So just keep that in mind.
Not sparking.
It's sparking, it's just not catching. I'm throwing tons of sparks. That's the problem with the wood stove a lot of times. It'll have a lot of sparks, but it doesn't want to catch. I've had this problem with a lighter before. There it goes. Just takes a while for sometimes for it to catch. Hopefully it'll stay lit, because that's another problem with wood stoves. It's got to get hot enough towards the back to create an updraft, so it'll want to make fire. And then sometimes closing the door a little bit helps too. It's pretty good fire. Old-fashioned ferro rod. This one's not the greatest, but it works. Okay, guys, so as you can see there, I was having a pretty difficult time, lighting that fire. And, it was pretty humid that day because the rain was starting to, the storm was getting ready to come in. It was just before like this big storm that we had like a couple days ago. And so like there was a lot of humidity in the air, so everything that I had to start a fire, including the newspapers and all that junk that I had in the house, junk mail, what have you, it was all kind of soggy because of the humidity. And also I had been cooking in the house too, and so that didn't help. And our wood is really dry, but if it's humid on the surface, it takes it a minute to catch, but once it catches it, it burns pretty good because our wood's really dry, compared to, like say wood from like last year that's like, it had just been cut or whatever. So yeah, I just wanted to like put that out there, show this to you guys because, I think that these kind of skills are important. Oh yeah, and also the ferro rod that I was using, the tether on it, I guess is what you call that, is the tether, the little thing that, holds the two pieces together so you don't lose it, your striker and your rod. It just isn't long enough. And I'm a woman with smaller hands, and I have difficulty using that ferro rod. And Ron probably couldn't use it at all. I don't even think he's tried that one because it's just difficult to actually get the striker in the right angle with not enough string there. And I don't take them apart because you don't want to, because you don't want to lose the two pieces. You can always replace them, but yeah, I just leave it the way it is because I really don't want to, those two pieces to be separated for any reason and any amount of time. So just keep that in mind if you are building your own ferro rods, or if you are purchasing one. Maybe you need to modify, maybe that's what I should do, is just put a different cord on there to make it long enough so that you could actually strike with it, because that's the problem with that one, is just I can't even get a good strike on it because the ferro rod, and the striker string is just too short. So yeah, and also I got a new ferro rod for Christmas just now, and I will be trying that one out, and if you guys are interested, I can make a couple of videos with that one. I am not really good at flint and steel yet. I've tried it a couple of times. It's really hard to get a spark with flint and steel. It takes a lot more practice than with the ferro rod. So when I tell people to do like bug out bags and things like that, I just tell them, get a ferro rod. It's better for more beginner fire starters. And it's basically, I call it the eternal match, because as long as you've got enough ferrule on that ferrule rod, and it's not totally worn out, you can always have some type of spark to start a fire. That being said, though, if you are out in the middle of the woods, have multiple ways to start your fire. Don't just, carry one thing, because if you lose that one thing, or if it's just not working because of weather conditions, you're going to be up a creek without a paddle. So yeah, I just recommend, anything you can bring with you in your backpack or whatever, if it's not going to take up too much room or too much weight. Make sure you have multiple sources of fire, i.e. waterproof matches, Bic lighters, whatever you got to do. Yeah, just make sure, and if you're good at flint and steel, take that and a ferro rod, and learn how to make a bow drill and a hand drill. That's one of my things. I haven't done that in so long. I don't even know if I could ever do it again. So I'm going to try it again one of these days, and maybe put it up on YouTube for you guys to watch, and you guys can all laugh at me and see, how I fail miserably and eventually start a fire. Okay, guys. Well, hopefully this is something fun for you guys to, practice with in your own home. Like I said before, just keep it safe, and, kids, be accompanied by a responsible adult, especially parents and grandparents. Grandparents are good for that. So yeah, and hopefully you guys have fun and are having a good New Year so far. All right, thank you for watching, and have a nice day, and we'll see you on the next one. All right, bye. You just kind of close it up. These things are so cool. I really like this one. I think I'm going to keep this one.